Alright, we're gonna do this one, okay? So, can you read? Kuya, scary. Can you sit properly first? Sit properly. Kuya! Yeah, bling bling. Yes, that's alright, how about let's take a break first? Let's go outside. Alright, and let's have lunch and we'll continue. Is that a good idea? Okay, give me low five. Low five. Low. Kuya, finish. Alright.
Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.
Okay,
Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.
Hello, mga mommies and daddies na nanonood po tonight. Good evening. Meron din po tayong mga titas or titos na nanonood with us. Or mga lolo or lola. Ayan, good evening po sa inyo. Hello po. And I hope you are all doing great. Ako nga po pala si Jocelyn Sulit-Tayer. Or mas kilala sa pangalang Nanay Joy. Pwede din naman pong Miss Joy para forever young ang peg. I have been homeschooling my children, Azel and Zara, for 5 years. Yes, 5 years. Since birth, nag-homeschool na sila. They actually went to a regular school naman. And they have experience, you know, seeing friends and teachers in school, the routine, they've done that before. Pero honestly speaking, nakakapagod. Nakakapagod kasi during that time, they were still in the afternoon class. Kasagsagan ng init and I have to send them every day. So nagka-high blood ako nun. Dumating sa point na talagang yung overall health ko na apektuhan na and I had to be admitted in the hospital kasi sobrang I was really in pain. So that actually triggers me to request from the school to move them in the morning class. Luckily, pumayag naman yung school. During that time na pumayag ng school, it was time naman for Zara to start also with her school. So tatlo na silang sinasend ko. Si Azel, si Sarah, at saka si Kulay, yung pamangkin ko. It just happened na magkaiba sila ng schedule. So, si Azel was on 8 to 11 and Sarah is on 10 to 12 class. Lalong na doble yung trabaho ko because I have to send Azel to school for his 8 to 11, then go back home to prepare Zara for her 10 to 12. So, yung school nila is mga 5 bus stops away from our house. Pag umuulan pa, di ba, medyo talagang hassle. Ayun, ganun. Then, after Azel's class, ng 11 o'clock, we have to wait naman for an hour kasi lalabas naman si Zara ng 12. So, in the end, inaabot din kami ng tanghaling tapat. So, yung kasagsagan ulit ng init, hindi namin naiwasan. We ended up taking taxi. So, there was a time na for the entire week, talagang nagta-taxi kami. At lalong lumaki yung gastos, di ba? Parang hindi na to maganda. So yun, ang dami kong nakitang disadvantages ng sending them to school. And that's where I also decided to do the homeschooling. Pero meron pa rin namang magandang naidulot yung school, which is hindi ko kayang pantayan. Yung the excitement ng mga bata to go to school, to see their friends and teachers, diba? That is something na hindi ko mababayaran. Yung excitement and they're looking forward to going to school every day. Pero, nanaig pa rin yung decision namin to go for homeschooling. And now, I'm here with you. I'm speaking to you, sharing with you how I fell in love with this job, homeschooling my children. And we are going to talk about, I'm gonna share with you, what are the benefits of homeschooling your children. The benefits of homeschooling your children. So I come up with 10. But before we go there, let me share with you a small part lang kasi talaga siya, of the book that I've read, okay? And actually, the only book that I finished is ito, Train Up a Child and Be Glad You Did. So ever since I started doing parental talk, so hindi ito nawawala tong book na to. Ito, cute, di ba? So by Harold J. Salas. So this is actually a wedding gift from Ninang Mar and Ninong Rafi. Hello, Ninang Mar and Ninong Rafi. Special mention kayo. It says here, the parent is the most important teacher a child will ever have. Diba? This part of the book and this actually entire book gives me the boost to come up with the right decision, to come up with the idea of homeschooling. because it simply says that I can do it because I'm naturally, I'm originally the teacher of my kids because I'm their parent. So ever since they were born, I'm the one teaching them. I could say na I can do it. And another thing, maybe siguro we can consider like master in parenting siguro. Kahit papaano, I can call that way. Kasi I consider myself as a trained parent. How? Paano yun? Did I attend any parental courses? Parang hindi naman, 'di ba? Wala naman tayong ganon unless attend tayo ng mga parental talk, 'di ba? On how to handle your kids. But then I can consider myself as a trained parent because before I even have my own kids, I'm already dealing with, children, especially those with special needs. So I was trained in managing their behaviors. I was trained in coming up with a modified curriculum or yung tinatawag natin individualized educational program na suitable, very unique for each kids, diba? Then we also were trained in social skill development, going on mini trips, and so many things. So when I have my kids, I know what to do. May time na mahirap, pero at least I was trained. Ayun, so let's begin. Number 1, we can create a flexible schedule. Oh, pwede pala yun? Of course. Number 1 benefit talaga ng homeschooling kasi you don't have to follow the school year calendar. Pag sinabing school, even if it's school holiday, you can still go on with your homeschooling. Or kung meron kayong mga araw na na-miss na school, you can catch up during the school holiday. So you don't really have to follow the school year calendar. And another thing is, you can come up with, let's say for 1 week, pwede kang MWF lang, pwedeng gusto mo Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then the rest will, maybe time for yourself or time with your husband or with your wife or maybe family time, yung lalabas kayo, pwedeng ganon. And another thing that we need to consider, bakit maganda yung homeschooling, paano naging flexible yung schedule natin when we do homeschooling is, diba, may mga parents na very important yung sleep ng bata. Normally ngayon, ang mga before pala, kasi ngayon circuit breaker, no? Dito sa Singapore, halos lahat home-based learning na. So before, diba, you have to wake them up very early in the morning, tapos pungay-pungay pa yan, diba? So parang simula pa lang ng araw, medyo mainit na kasi nga, you have to push them to really wake up very early to get ready for school. But for homeschooling, you don't have to do that. You can let your child enough sleep. And sleep is life, diba? Kahit naman sa ating mga matatanda, sleep is life. Yung ibang sinasabi, gising is lifer. So, pag maganda ang gising mo, mas maganda ang buhay mo, diba? Very important. Bakit? Pag nakatulog yung bata, actually, for us, diba? We are more productive when we have enough sleep. And another thing is, it leads to healthier kids. Kasi nga, they get enough sleep. Actually, in the beginning, I started doing a very, very structured schedule. So, dapat 8 o'clock gising na sila. So, kailangan before I wake them up, ready na ako sa labas. It didn't happen. We were not very consistent with that. Kasi nga, parang nagigilty ako na, gigisingin ko sila ng ganung kaaga samantalang pwede naman mamaya pa, let them sleep. And the later part, we just decided to, just wait until they wake up. Just wait until they wake up and that's where our life begins. We have schedule, but then I have to respect their sleep. Kasi I want them to be productive. Ang problema kasi pag walang enough sleep yung bata, it will lead to poor education. Minsan nade-develop yung anxiety ng bata. Kasi diba sa simula pa lang, bilisan mo, diba? Faster, you're gonna be late. You're gonna be late for school. The bus is here already, ganon. So, nagli-lead ng anxiety. And then also, diba, kahit sa ating mga matatanda, pag wala kang enough sleep, yung body mo hindi masyadong nare-relax, hindi nare-rest ng ayos. So, it also can lead to obesity. Ouch. Medyo ata ko dun. Anyway, ayun. So, we can create a flexible schedule when you homeschool your children. What's next? Spend more time with your children, with your family, 'di ba? Kasi from the time they wake up, you don't have to send them to school. You don't have to be apart from them while they are at school, you're at home or you're at work. From the time they wake up until the time they sleep, you're with them. You have all the time to be spent with your children. This actually relates to having a flexible schedule kasi pag gusto mo ng, this Monday, Wednesday, Friday na lang tayo mag-school and then Tuesday and Thursday we go go out, let's say we go to the playground, we go to IKEA, you can come up with a more creative way also to spend time, to use your time with your children, diba? And bakit importante yung we spend more time with our family? Because of course, family gives us support system na nagpo-provide ng important foundation, diba? It's a foundation where we build their character, values, diba? We teach them values, and this is the best opportunity for us to be there immediately, diba? Pag kailangan nila tayo. Play as a family, we can explore as a family. They can have more sibling time, sibling bonding, diba? Kasi especially for me, I have two, so they do homeschool together. So if they fight, they come up also with their own way to solve their issues. We're just there to support them. Another thing is for the married couple. Let's say you are privileged to be at home doing your work from home. You get to spend time with the children. So you also have your time as a married couple. Paano yun? Paano ka magkakaroon ng married couple while you're doing homeschooling? Of course, kasi dahil nga na-spend mo na yung enough time with your children dahil you're doing homeschool, hindi ka ma-feel guilty ba na to go out on a date with your partner, with your husband or wife, kasi nga I have spent my precious time already with the kids, and the kids, they have to understand also that mommy and daddy, nanay and tatay has to have their own time then. Very peaceful. Maglilid siya sa very peaceful feeling. Bakit maganda na ma-spend natin yung time natin with our kids, with the family? We build memories. Every second we spend with them, from the time they wake up, they become silly, they get angry, they say something that you don't expect them to say, and you laugh, you cry together. Those are memories. Lalaki sila na magugulat na lang tayo na, diba, ang laki na nila. So, take that chance, take that privilege to homeschool your kids and spend more time with your children. Next is, we can teach them in a more natural environment. Saan ba yung natural environment ng ating mga bata? This is while they're engaging themselves in their regular activities. Ano bang trabaho ng ating mga anak? Ay maglaro. Child's work is to play. And let them play and learn at the same time. In a natural environment. We don't just show them pictures. If you want to teach them labels like spoon and fork, what is spoon and fork, bed and pillow, shampoo and bath gel, just go to, different rooms of your house and then teach them to label things around. And let's say, for example, you want to teach them different things you can see in the kitchen, just go to the kitchen, open those cabinets and, grab those utensils and let them see the real things. And another example that I want to share with this is while they're taking a bath, they can have toys. They have these rubber letters you can stick on the wall when it's wet. That's where Sarah started learning to read. So, ang first word niya, actually, using those letters, is my name, Joy. So, J-O-Y. So, pag nakita niya yon, she knows how to put them together to come up with the word Joy. So, any Joy na makita niya, na J-O-Y na makita niya, alam niya na Joy. So, diba? So, you don't have to really sit down on the table. You don't really have to go on a very structured way. You can just, move around the house. You can set up an obstacle course. You can just use your chairs. They can go under the chairs. Just have fun, while doing their regular activities. We can already teach them so many things, so many skills. Part ng natural environment is, for us, we go mini trips. Okay, those are some words that we used before during our therapy sessions in my previous company. So mini trips, they call it mini trips kasi very short lang. So it's like a very small version ng field trip, diba? So ano mini trips? So we can go to the post office, especially pag magko-collect ako ng mga parcel ko for delivery. So sasama ko sila. I have to grab them kasi during that time wala naman akong helper. So I have to bring them. I have to bring them with me. Okay, then they say, where are we going? So we're going to post office. So they get excited kasi para sa kanila, they have their own responsibility going there. So before we go out, we will do some, discussion like, what are we supposed to do when we go to this place? What are we not supposed to do when we go to this place? Pag meron akong kailangan bilhin na ingredients na lulutuin, so I have to bring them to the supermarket. Go to the library, we go to the park, we go to playground. So before we even have avail a season pass in Universal Studios. So every week yata nandun kami. And ayun, di ba? Sobrang saya. And as simple as taking the bus, as simple as taking the train, pressing the lift button yung sa elevator. It's a good way na to, to teach them different skills, many skills. And they don't feel it like it's a school because, they're having fun. It's part of their routine. It's part of their regular activities. Very natural yung environment. We can choose or prioritize what to teach. Okay, for this, when I was reading some article about this part, na-realize ko na, meron palang mga countries na they require a specific curriculum or homeschool program. For some countries, they actually don't care kung anong homeschool program yung ginagamit mo. What do you really want them to learn? Of course, we will end up, teaching them math, science, English, or minsan history, di ba? Ngayon hindi na masyado yung history. What I really want to emphasize in this is ano ba yung gusto mong ituro talaga sa mga anak mo. For me, I want to always start with their behavior. Their social skills, their character. Yan. I want to build their character. I want for them to have the good attitude, the proper attitude na sa paglaki nila, dala-dala nila. Yung nakaka-proud na sabihin, babait naman ng mga anak mo. Because that's what I prioritize. That's what I want to give importance sa pagtuturo ko sa mga anak ko. Pagdating sa school, wala naman din choice eh. Pag science, kapag math, kapag English. Depends on the teacher, diba? Kung, let's say for example, the teacher also emphasized na I don't mind if you're very good with science. I don't mind if you can perfect your score. I don't mind if you're having a hard time with your math. But what is important for me is to sit down there, you listen, pay attention, and behave. For us, for Richard and I, we always want to emphasize or to give parang big points on attitude or character building. So yung tinatawag natin GMRC, yung good manners and right conduct. So as simple as saying thank you, as simple as saying welcome, I'm sorry, I love you. Those words are actually in our house. You can hear that for million times, exaggerated, pero that's how I can describe it. Million times mong maririnig, I love you, nanay, thank you, nanay. When they did something wrong, they're very quick in saying I'm sorry. Kasi nga, that's what I prioritize in teaching them. So, Sarah is having a hard time reading. But I don't mind. Kasi, mabait siya. Like, darating tayo sa point na matututunan mo ding magbasa. But what is really important for me is yung, what are the children wants to, learn, what needs to be learned, and that is actually the best opportunity as a parent to give to the children. So we learn to prioritize. During when we do homeschooling, we can prioritize what to teach. We can deal with the behavior issues immediately. So, pag nasa bahay ka, ikaw yung nagtuturo sa mga anak mo, suddenly, especially for me, I have two, madaming chances na nag-aaway sila, nag-aagawan, time na, so unfair, ganon, di ba? May mga ganong moment na kami. What is good is, andito agad ako. I'm there for them, to support them, to deal with the behavior, to guide them, kung ano ba yung dapat gawin nila, to settle things out. Let's say, for example, one time, I wanna share with you, one time, I was bathing Hazel. He was playing with his rubber letters. And then suddenly, he was saying a bad word. Okay? It's a very bad word. So sa atin is something na talagang ay hindi mo gugustuhin marinig sa bata. Siyempre in English, where nandito kami. So yun yung naririnig niya in English. Son of a, ganun. Yun na yun. Son of a. Tut. Yun yung sinasabi niya. And then I was shocked. So I asked him to repeat it. What did you say? And then he said it. He just said it. And then, kinorek pa nga niya ako on how to pronounce it. Sabi, no, hindi ganyan. Not like that. It's ganito. I was shocked. And then, I called Richard and then I said, come over here. And then, I asked Hazel again to say it. Then, he said it again. So, definitely, he doesn't have any idea what does it mean. And then, at that moment, I actually scolded Richard muna kasi nga, we were watching and Hazel is very good in reading. So, he was able to read those, words. So, kahit hinaan namin, nababasa niya. So, may mga guilty kami doon. So, may mga movies na pinapanood kami na talagang may mga bad words. So, guilty kami doon. And then, so na-scold ko si Richard na we'll never ever watch movie again na may mga ganong words with them, with the kids. I told him that night when I was bathing him and he said those words, I said, that is a very, very, very bad word. You know, he suddenly feels guilty as well. And parang sa kanya, hindi ko naman alam kung ano ibig sabihin nun eh. No? Parang maybe it sounds, you know, it sounds rhyme, you know, yung rhyming or I don't know, it sounds nice siguro for them. But I said, that's a very, very, very bad word. And then he started crying. And then for me, I don't mind if he cries because I really want him that period of time in those seconds of his life na makorek kasi that's a really bad word. And I even emphasize like if people hear you saying that, they will feel bad about you and they will think bad about you. And then, ayaw niya nun eh. Ayaw niya nung ganon. So, yun. So, dun kami nagkaroon ng chance din to correct it immediately. So, I made a list of the bad words. Talagang nilista ko yung mga bad words. So, this one. When you say this, when you hear this, these are bad words. Ang ganang pakiramdam na ako yung unang nakarinig nung sa kanya. Kasi 'di ba? I mean, personally, pag let's say 'di ba may mga insidente na, yung anak mo narinig ko na sinabi niya ganito. Parang 'di ba? Parang kahit pa paano ang hirap niya tanggapin na talaga sinabi ng anak ko 'yun. Parang ikaw din saan niya narinig 'yun? 'Di ba? You try to honestly, 'di ba? We'll try to find things to blame. I blame myself. I blame ourselves. We blame ourselves kasi nga we watch movie in front of them with those words. And at the same time, I was able to correct the behavior immediately. I was able to correct yung maling nagawa niya or nasabi ng anak mo. And that is a great opportunity when we homeschool our children. You are already there. You are ready to give help to them. Another benefit of homeschooling your children is we can provide more protection to keep them safe. Sa bahay, I believe this is the safest place for them. One time na dumami yung cases ng H1N1. So ang mga targets niyan kasi is yung mga kids, no, especially yung mga preschoolers. So dumami yung cases ng H1N1 doon sa school na dating pinapasukan ni Hazel. And that is something na I'm gonna be very thankful na hino-homeschool ko sila kasi I was able to protect them from catching the virus. Kasi nga, sa dami-dami ginagawa mo na sa buhay mo, di ba? From the time you wake up, you're gonna prepare breakfast, you bathe them, you prepare lunch, dinner, clean the house, do the laundry, at meron pa akong mga sideline businesses, di ba? Sa dami na, tapos isasama mo pa yung stress na they might catch a virus. Is something na blessing, di ba? Blessing na yun, I'm homeschooling them, keeping them safe here at home in my arms. Ang dami nating pwedeng maiwasang sakit ng mga bata. But I'm not saying na when we go out, they will immediately get the virus. No, of course, even if they're still at home, we have some protocols that we are using to protect them, to boost their immune system. Para paglabas din naman nila, katawan nila is ready to battle against the virus. More protection to our kids. And another thing, emotional aspect ng buhay nila, di ba? When especially now, yung talamak yung cases din ng bullying, yung pressure na meron yung mga bata when they go to school is less. You know, they lead it when you're doing homeschooling, naiiwasan mo yung bullying, naiiwasan mo sila to feel anxious, to feel stressed, to feel pressured. We are building more happy environment. You know, we are providing a happier environment for our kids. I mean, personally, for me, I prefer yung happy place, happy environment, happy learning para hindi sila magsawa, hindi sila mapagod. They keep that happy attitude, positive attitude towards learning when they feel safe, when they are protected. Even now, if I ask them, do you want to go to school? No, I love homeschooling. I love nanay as my teacher. So, nakaka-proud din, di ba? And one of the best thing is we protect them while they stay at home. Another benefit of homeschooling your children is we can allow them to master the skills in a very short period of time. Paano yun? Diba? Ano yun? Wala nang tulugan? So, hindi. Nung nag-work ako as a therapist, when we assess the kids, when we assess the students, we will give recommendations on how many hours are we going to see the children or see the students for therapy sessions. And normally, we recommend more hours. It's not because we can get paid more. But we aim for a shorter period of therapy. I mean, shorter period of mastering the skills. So we can introduce more skills. So let's say, for example, Monday, we introduce the concept of ABC. And then let's say, ang next schedule pa is next Monday. So dadaan yung Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Napakarami ng activities na gagawin ng anak mo. Pagdating ng Monday, andun pa rin kayo sa concept ng ABC. So what we usually do, let's say for example, when the child or the students before, mentioning about the students we have before, they're on a full program. Let's say for example, full program. Full program means 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon, 5 days a week, and then a social skills session on Saturday morning. So that's actually full program. So that's too much. Parang that's too much naman. Pero the kids will benefit from this one kasi we introduce a new concept in the morning, Monday morning. In the afternoon, we can review that concept. By Tuesday, we can review again and then master. So we can introduce a new concept. Marami tayong time to master the skills. So let's say, for example, teaching ABCs, 1, 2, 3, colors and numbers. So kung let's say every day tayo nagtuturo sa mga anak natin, but then you don't really have to be sitting on the chair. So you teach the ABC in the bathroom with the letters. You know, you teach ABCs using the chart. You use the ABCs during using puzzles. You teach ABCs by, you know, writing on the board. So there's so many different ways to teach. But then if we do it on a regular basis every day, master niya na in, you know, very short period of time. And we can introduce a new skill. Darating yung time na ma-realize mo na, ang advance na ng anak ko, di ba? Minsan nagugulat ako na parang, alam mo na yung word na yan, yung ganon. So parang, paano mo nalaman yan? Kasi nga, in our everyday routine, there's always a chance to learn. There's always an opportunity for them to grasp any concept. That is good kasi it saves you time. Another thing is, if let's say for example, you don't do a everyday session. Let's say for example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or let's say you decided to do everyday session, but then suddenly Wednesday or Friday, you feel like you don't want to teach because you're not feeling well or the kids are not in the mood. So at least, you know, you can also come up with like a make-up session, diba, with them na, let's review with this because yesterday we're not able to do the session, we're not able to do this homeschool, so let's catch up, okay? So any time of the day you can review, any time of the day you can introduce new skills, and you have all the time to review the skill and master the skill and introduce a new one, diba? Another benefit of homeschooling your children is you can still develop their social skills. Kasi ito yung isa sa mga fear ng mga parents when they've heard homeschooling. Hala, paano yung anak ko hindi matututong makipag-interact sa ibang bata. But actually, that was wrong. Luckily, I have 2 kids which are very near yung age nila. It was easy for me to teach the social skills with them. But then, paano yung mga nag-iisa lang na anak? Yun yung mga sinasabi nilang challenging. Paano? Baka hindi ma-develop yung social skills ng anak ko if I do homeschool. That was wrong. Kasi there are many ways we can teach them social skills. One is watching YouTube videos. Diba? So may mga YouTube videos na nagtuturo ng mga magagandang asal. Ayan, how to introduce yourself to your friends, when do you say thank you, when do you say excuse me, alright? So many opportunity na matuto yung bata ng social skills through videos. Another thing is reading books. Reading books about manners. Ayun pala yun. So, marami tayo. Meron tayo mga tinatawag na, diba, parang mga Little Miss Grumpy. Ayan, diba? Mr. Chatterbox. Ayan, meron kaming isang set niyan. Ayun. So, meron kaming isang set niyan. So, reading with them those books about manners, they come up, they know, like, oh no, nanay, no, that's bad. No, what he did was bad. That's so mean. That's so rude. So they've learned. They've learning. Even hindi pa nila na-experience yun. Through these books, they've learned what is right and wrong. Okay? They still develop social skills. Another thing is, of course, role-playing. So let's say, paano pag mag-isa lang yung anak mo, you can still do role-playing using those, you know, using those stuffed toys, di ba? You can create characters out of them. Like, let's say si Minnie Mouse at saka si Mickey Mouse nag-aaway. Kasi si Mickey Mouse bully, tapos si Minnie Mouse very shy. So, we come up with your own script and how will they be able to resolve the issues. So, through that, our kids can learn social skills. They can still develop social skills. Another thing, so many things. For us, we usually go to their cousins every week, for them to play. And they look forward to that. So that's another way for them to interact, to practice their social skill development. And one last thing is yung kids ministry in the church. So, yun, di ba? Magandang opportunity din yan for them to interact, to socialize, and opportunity for us. Kung let's say, suddenly they were shy or they suddenly become very frustrated with the activities, di ba? Nakikita natin how we were able to correct them, to teach them socially accepted behaviors outside our house. Next is, we can have a happy and healthy children. It doesn't mean na pag pumupunta naman sila sa school, they're not happy and they're not healthy. I don't mean that. But for me, personally, that's one benefit that you can have when you homeschool your children. So this actually summarizes previously mentioned benefits of homeschooling your children. Yung having a flexible schedule, di ba? So you don't really have to be strict on their schedule. So pwedeng may time na you can give them time to rest. O sige, for today we can have time to play instead of sitting down on the table and sitting down on a chair and working on the table. So that gives them like, the feeling na, yeah, we can have fun time. The fact that you spend more time with your children during your homeschooling, them happy. Yung natural environment, we get used to going to different places, going to Universal Studios as part of the homeschooling is something like, they're gonna look forward to, and that keeps them happy. And lastly, ano pa yung isang benefit ng homeschooling your children is, of course, we can still get support from different communities. Meron tayong mga FB groups, di ba? Homeschooling groups. Whether kahit saang part ka pa ng mundo, dyan lang yung computer mo, you can just type homeschooling or homeschooling community. Napakarami nating support na makukuha. And it's just the same as, when you're sending your children to a regular school, we get support from the school itself, from the teachers, from other parents, from other students. So it's the same thing with homeschooling, di ba? Sa bahay, we don't need to feel alone kasi we have community support groups na anytime pwede nating pagtanungan, pwede nating hingan ng ideas. Parang gusto kong dalhin yung anak ko sa labas. I want to try those mini trips na mini-mention ni Miss Joy. Saan ko kaya dadalhin yung mga anak ko? So we can come up with the list kasi nga we have community support groups na pwede nating takbuhan. And speaking of that, any questions you have, feel free to contact me, to message me. I'm very, very chatty. Sobrang gustong-gusto ko ng kausap kasi nga, 'di ba? Although ngayon medyo nabawasan na yung kagustuhan ko dahil nga I get used to doing part-time in Miss Nina's school, ate ko. So, nabawasan na yung longingness ko for a chat kasi nga every Monday, Wednesday, Friday nandun ako sa school at meron ako nakakachikahan. So, ayun. So, any questions you have, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to message. Maybe you can message Miss Nina. You can message Ate Nina for any questions, and I'm very willing to share many experiences I had when I'm homeschooling my kids. Thank you. Bye!